Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd. Absolutely. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. Forgot to mute myself. Surprised I didn't get a feedback loop. So, anyway, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. My guest tonight, IREN, since I had her on my last show, sadly, James Rink, I would say the super soldier ringleader, passed away. Most of you already know this. Some of you don't. I personally spoke to James multiple times. He popped on a couple of streams that I did well before his October conference, and I didn't know if it was just the stress and anxiety of putting on such a conference and then having a competing conference pop in at the same time and begin to poach some of your speakers, that was causing him to act abnormally physically, as well as look physically withdrawn. So it could have been a combination of a lot of different things. The speculation is, and I haven't written a forensic autopsy, so until I do that, I don't know how he died. Rumor is cardiac arrest as well as liver issues. So I don't know if James did pills or drank or did anything to damage his liver prior to this event. So I don't know. But anyway, just speaking to some of the former super soldiers, as well as Noel Benoit and other folks who are, either high ranking in military or in intelligence or in law enforcement. You're wanted until you're expendable. And then when you become expendable, they'll take out a whole busload of people to just get one person. Don't think they won't. That's your government in action. It's as it seems. So that's the whole James Rink thing. So she's been chomping at the bit, hitting me up to come on the show to tell more of her story. And I get it. I understand. Some of these folks feel 24/7, 365 threatened with their health and safety. That's why she comes on here with a blurred face. So, listen, I really don't know anything about the whole super soldier program. I'm just like that normal guy next door who doesn't know anything when it comes to that aspect of it. Have I had an ideation, but no proof that it could possibly exist, and that we've been, going other places and whatever that looks like, whether it's parallel dimensions or outer space or other planets, galaxies, star system, whatever. I think we've been capable of doing that for a very, very, very long time, probably since Homo sapiens were created. Absolutely. So obviously our timeline's all screwed up. And I do have our guest backstage, so I'm going to give her just a little bit more time to prepare. Go look at this comment. Heck yeah. All right, Byron. Did I get that? Or is it Brian or Brian? Byron. Okay. Quickly, let me just go dive in here because I know I had some stuff saved. I don't know if I wanted to go over it, but let me go check. I did something different for a change. I loaded some shorts, and they're all under 3 minutes. I have a new thing called Fearless Floyd Shorts. And I uploaded some straight through StreamYard but they only go to YouTube and they go on as shorts. And then I can go through StreamYard and I can upload to YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, LinkedIn, BitChute, Telegram somewhere. I don't know where they're going in Telegram. And allegedly Odyssey, all at one time, but they upload as live videos. It seems that the live videos that I upload on YouTube don't get the same views as they do as shorts on YouTube. So I may just utilize that to upload on other platforms and continue to upload it on YouTube as a short individually, which takes more time, as you know. Yeah, without diving into all that stuff, let me pull this up real quick. There's something in here. Back that ass up.
The banks, and one of the female investigators said she was crying a banking official that what we could have done. The bank managers, they used to get a call from top executives in the bank. The banks themselves were part of this nexus of covering up the corruption of the Sharif family.
The so-called Panama Papers contain allegations of money laundering and tax evasion
involving world leaders, and where some of them are accused of hiding their money in many cases.
That's the reason I'm showing
in an
you.
effort to avoid taxes.
It was a surprise for the people in Pakistan because it came out internationally. It had much more credibility because previously over the years, the Sharif family had been using the views that all these allegations against them are politically motivated.
Sharif's 3 children are named in the Panama Papers. His family owns properties in London through offshore accounts. Sharif's daughter denies owning the London properties. Documents from her allegedly date back to 2006 and show she is a trustee of the properties, not an owner. But those documents are written in a font called Calibri, which was not commercially available until 2007.
I showed you that because that's an anti-counterfeit measure. And you see what the very rich and wealthy do, okay? And how easy it is to forge a document and get it accepted as genuine. So I have a class coming up for a healthcare directive and a last will and testament. So if you want one that's bulletproof, that nobody can counterfeit, so if you have I want to be resuscitated on your record, but you have valuable assets and you want somebody to come take them from you, well, guess what they're going to do? You're DNR'd, baby. So you better have something in place before you get there, especially with everything that they're spraying, putting in our food and beverages, because your health is your #1 priority. Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, all these illnesses that everybody's getting, strokes, cardiac arrests. Detox, folks. But if you want to protect your assets for your beneficiary and heirs, we have some classes coming up on the 6th, the 13th, and the 20th. Go to the fearlessfloydshow.com website and check those out. Okay. No problem. So what that showed you is that the font used on that document allegedly was dated prior to when the font was commercially available as a free font in probably your Microsoft suite with Word. Okay. So when I tell you folks how easy it is to forge documents, real easy. Just to take everything or put everything in question long enough for them to go in and steal everything. So, or put you in assisted living, and you know how that turns out for everybody. Assisted living right on to the end. So, tonight's show, in memory of James Rink for everybody. So, take a minute, and I know IREN's backstage, so if we can have a little prayer, man. So, to our Lord and Savior, the one who created us all as individuals with our own free will and free spirit and sovereign. Thank you for everything that you provide for us that are out here trying to tell you the truth, trying to restore memories, past lives, whatever that looks like, and express it in the best way we know how. We're targeted. Absolutely. We're threatened. That's why I tell everyone, take care of yourself first before you can help anybody else, before you go get a humanitarian project or whatever. Okay? You're number one in your life. You're a temple of God. Try to stay that way. Try to stay in honor, good faith, and clean hands with your Creator, whatever that looks like for you. And may James Rink rest in peace. Amen. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I really do appreciate you taking that little time out for James. I'm sure his friends and family and all his subscribers and viewers also. All right. If you did not catch my last show that I did with IREN, we opened up a lot of doors, and I don't think we got to the end of those discussions, but I don't know where we're even going to go tonight. So with James passing away, the suspicion that he was a targeted individual adds prescience to tonight's show. I did reach out to my prior guest, Daryl James, asked him to come on. I reached out to Noel Benoit. He said he was busy, tied up in Reno, on the front lines, fighting the good fight. So it is what it is. It's me and IREN. If somebody reaches out during the show, I'll see if IREN would allow them to come on, and we'll pop on. Now, IREN, she is a super soldier, part of the secret space program, and she still is in contact, according to our last interview, with, let's just say, entities. I'm just giving you a broad spectrum here, that are within the other realm, whatever that is. Okay, I've never been there, so I can't even tell you how to describe it. So whether it's outer space, other planets, other dimensions, who knows really what it is? You know, who knows if the Earth is flat? I just had one of my friends, former state representative here for Texas. I keep wanting to say his sister and his brother's name. Anyway, he does a Bible study, and then he posted this round disc of Earth that was allegedly taken from the satellite. And I was like, oh, okay. Wow, he went there. Okay, all right. I'm in for that. So I don't know, folks. This is all just a mystery to me. I'm trying to get to whatever the truth is. So join me on this journey with the whole super soldier thing. I believe that category is going to be probably a little bit more wide open just because James is gone. So those folks need an outlet. And hey, if you want to come on, you're a former super soldier, more the merrier. I'll ask you, because I'm inquisitive and I'm definitely intellectually curious. I love hearing these stories, whether they're true or not. I don't know, but obviously the people that are expressing them believe this 110% without a doubt. So come on this journey. Let's go. And with that, our guest, IREN, welcome to the show. Give me a black drop here. And you're muted, darling. There you
Sorry. Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Thank you for welcoming me back.
Oh, hey. So I'm sure there's people who have no clue who you are. They're like, oh, he's got a super soldier, IREN, because they didn't see the last show. We went over 2 hours, so I didn't get a chance to break it up into shorts yet and post it. So tell everybody who you are and what you've done and why you're here tonight. And I'll give you the floor.
Oh man, that's a long story. 3 hours worth last time.
Give me the elevator pitch. We just got on the
Okay,
elevator.
I'll try to kind of summarize it. So I kind of have a pretty good idea of this because I kind of need it for my soul contract. So I was an Alpha Draco at some point, long time ago, many incarnations ago. I haven't incarnated as Alpha Draco in many lifetimes. But the Alpha Draco, they come from another universe, and that universe was destroyed by war. So they're basically refugees. And Alpha Dracos are from Orion, which is who is controlling Earth right now. And their understanding of things is very me versus them and militarized, and yeah, they have a very inverted understanding of things, very separated from what divine is considered. And so at some point, from what I discovered is, I remember that I traveled for a long time after I left Orion, and I left Orion because I was, even in my previous universe, I already was kind of checking out from that whole domination, me versus them reality. Like, I didn't want to have anything to do with it. So when I came to this universe, I was like already like partially not really with them, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, as a soul. And at some point I kind of slowly separate myself from them, diverted. How do you say? I separate myself on a mental state first, and then slowly I separate myself physically. And then I was traveling for a long time. The reason I separated myself was because Galactic Federation helped with that. So, and then after that, they let me travel the universe because I was very traumatized from many lifetimes being at war and being like in a very rough environment. So I for many lifetimes, I was just traveling the universe. And then they called me back here to see the solar system and decide, do I want to have anything to do with this? And I kind of saw what's going on here, and I decided to join them to help out here. So they wanted me to join because I had that Draco reptilian background, because I basically already left the system that's controlling Earth right now and the solar system in general before, so I know how to leave, how to desert the control system. So they wanted me to kind of be an example, a teacher, help wake people up, help wake operatives up and stuff like that. So yeah. So now I'm with the Galactic Federation. They're the ones that are protecting me from being executed. And I've been in the secret space program. This was my 6th lifetime. And I've been sent by the Galactic Federation all these times to kind of show them not to close their heart chakra, because many of them do that, and then they're capable of anything when they do that. And just to wake them up, kind of try to shake them out of the control system. I'll show you right now their schedule and how much they're controlled every single day. So you'll understand a little bit of why it's important for them to question things because their minds get edited every single day. Any thoughts that they have that they shouldn't have, they go through an editing. So yeah.
Kind of like a Minority Report, except they wirelessly erase your thoughts.
Yeah, they go through like I don't know what it's called, but they go through like 3 hours. For 3 hours, they go through simulation training, and during that training, they go through their heads. So to make sure that they don't have any thoughts that they shouldn't have.
Okay. So let me ask you this, and because you described your past lives in a rugged lifestyle, and this is a fair question, I believe. So during those lifetimes, were you always a female as you are now in the same type of frame, or were
No, I switched bodies, different. Actually, the first 3 lifetimes that I had in the secret space program were male. Only the last 3 lifetimes that were female.
Okay.
But yeah, I was introduced to the SSP as a male first, and then they kind of thought I was a good operative, so they kept taking me again and again. But I was sent by Galactic Federation. They looked at timelines where I would be taken, so it was done on purpose. Unlike some operatives that end up there by chance or by a soul contract or whatever, I actually chose to go there.
Oh, okay. Do you remember why you chose to go there?
I already did say that, but to wake them up and to make them question reality, and also to show them not to close their heart chakra, because when they do that, they become very cruel, and they're capable of doing anything, any kind of cruelty. So I was trying to show them that the way I left Orion was because I was starting to connect to my heart. So I didn't belong in that system anymore.
So how does one get solicited into the Super Soldier program? What does that look like, and when did that happen?
You get taken if you have psychic abilities, if you have enhanced psychic abilities, if you have a body that's genetically good for them to work with, that's pliable when it comes to psychic abilities as well. So they look for that. Last time I talked about that, my dad, when he was serving in his country in Europe, he ended up digging underground facilities, and he has no idea why they make him dig underground, what is it called, tunnels. And they said that while they were doing that, they were introducing the soldiers to higher frequencies that were digging there to see how they react to it. And my dad was able to function in that energy field. So they marked him. They didn't take him to the programs, but they marked him as a good candidate to have a child for the programs. And then Galactic Federation kind of marked that down too. So they were like, okay, he's good candidate. They're probably going to take you because he was marked. So I ended up incarnating into this body. But also was some genetically modified too, to be even more appealing to them. They actually have my genetic blueprint still in the Galactic Federation. My whole genetic blueprint. So they made my body there, but my mom has no memory of being artificially altered or anything like the womb being altered.
Your mother has no recollection of artificial insemination?
I doubt it. I doubt it. She's never said anything. But I was genetically, they already took something that was already there, but they altered it even more.
Right. Which is no secret what they're doing.
Yeah. But this time it was Galactic Federation that did that. They wanted to make me more appealing.
Appealing in what manner? More attractive? More
appealing for the secret space program, so I'll have more psychic abilities, and they'll want me more. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So they are. So they don't. I would presume a good genetic physical structure would probably be most appealing to them, but what they're looking for are the super brilliant people, the super geniuses, the ones that are really gifted or have, as you say, psychic abilities, whatever that looks like.
I would say they're looking for, they're looking for people that have strong energy fields. They usually have more psychic abilities because of that. And yeah.
How would an individual go about finding out what their energy field looks like in that manner?
You're usually more sensitive to things, but they have a very way to measure it. They have technology to measure it.
I'm sure they do. They got a machine for everything.
Yeah, they actually scientifically, everything that we consider spirituality here, for them it's science.
For them, it's who's them that we're discussing?
Secret space program, even Galactic Federation. For them, things that we consider to be spirituality here, for them it's a science, but on science level.
Okay. Just like here we use fractions, everywhere else they use the metric system. Same principle.
Probably a little bit more complex than that.
Poor Earthlings.
Yeah, Earthlings are only starting to figure out things, but they're already using it as a technological means, things that we consider spiritual.
Okay. So have you I'm trying to phrase this correctly where it doesn't confuse you, my audience, or me. So basically, when you've lived these lifetimes, are you time traveling where you'll live the lifetime and then you'll go back and get another body and that you time travel back? Or do you continuously do these lifetimes on a stacked timeline, let's say 20 years per term or journey, whatever you're doing, and it adds up to 6 lifetimes, so that's 120 years. Is it in that timeline, or do you keep going back and just do that 20 and then boom, you pop out back into this world on day one, like that 20 years? You just keep, you follow me?
So I was told from the astral that the SSP from the astral looks like knots. It doesn't look like a time current. It looks like knots. I don't really understand what that means entirely, but I've had 3 20 backs. So in this lifetime, but I've had also other lifetimes, and sometimes they take us only 2 times, 2 20 back, sometimes 1 20 back. I've even met some people who only had like 10 or 15 years of 20 backs. So it really depends how much they need the person and how valuable they are. I had 3 full 20 backs. Well, actually, my third one, I'm not sure I've completely finished it because I was taken out earlier than I was supposed to. But yeah, this lifetime I only had 3. I think my previous one I also had 3. I don't remember the ones before that, but yeah, every time lifetime, it means I come in a different body, like a new incarnation.
Right.
Lifetime. And 20 and back means I'm taking during the lifetime. So
Okay.
my first time I was taking this lifetime was I was 6 years old,
Right.
and then second one was I was around 12 or 13, and then my third was around 20 or 21, somewhere around there.
So 20 or 21, you left this, whatever we're in, this dimension, you went somewhere else, and you came back 20 years later at
At
that
the
same
same
age?
at the same time and space.
So it's basically like you blinked your eyes and 20 years just went by like that.
Yeah, we don't remember anything either, so it's like it never happened.
Right. Kind of like you nodded off and woke up and went, oh, wow, that was strange. Right? Kind of like that.
Basically.
Okay.
But you come back with PTSD, so I've noticed after every 20 and back, I started my relationships with my parents started to decline. So we do come back agitated because emotionally we still carry the weight of all of that.
Well, I can't even imagine some of the things that I've heard and have been told that you guys do. It's like your worst horror movie that you're living it over and over and over. And when you get injured and damaged, they recycle you back to full strength and put you back out on the front lines. So that's crazy. So they take you as you said a 3-year-old was the youngest when they first took you?
Yeah, they started taking me into my labs when I was around 3 years old. But they were back then until 6 years old. They were taking me and returning me, and I would not be surprised if my grandma saw them take me, but then they wiped her or whoever was taking care of me. I wouldn't be surprised because they could do that.
So do they have device? Hello? Hello? Oh, awesome. Can I call? I'm doing a live right now. Can I call you back? This number? Okay, how late? Because I know you're on the East Coast, right? In Carolinas? Gotcha. Thank you, sir. Yep, no problem. Bye-bye. All right. Pays to answer the phone. Somebody needs help. So I'm here to give it to them. So they just took you back and forth to the lab. Obviously, the Men in Black little pins where they stick them up and erase your memory. There's probably something very similar to that. Remember, they're telling you everything in the movies. Absolutely. Don't for a minute not think that they are. That, Michael Keaton and what was it? Multiplicity, where he cloned himself and had, like 10 or 12 clones running around. They were telling you back then that's a real deal. So, wow, it's just crazy. So at what age did they finally take you into full combat?
From what I understood, I think it was the second 20 and back. I think the first one, they were just training me. And then the second 20 and back, they started to introduce me to combat. From what I understood, it was like around 14 or 15. They started to slowly like increase the different missions, more and more dangerous.
So obviously, you said you were a male at that age when they took you. So a 14-year-old boy is really not physically up to snuff for full.
This lifetime, I was a female, though.
Oh, okay.
I've had 6 lifetimes in the SSB, but only my first 3 lifetimes were male.
Okay.
And my past 3 lifetimes, including this one was my last 3rd, were female.
So, all right, So you've had 6 lifetimes, but in this last 6th lifetime is when you became a super soldier?
No, I've been in the secret space program for 6 lifetimes already.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure we weren't talking about your like past human lives where you've been reincarnated, and that's what you're remembering. And okay.
Yeah, I've had past human lives where I was in the secret space program, and this is my last one, my 6th one, where I was a female serving this time.
In our current calendar, the Gregorian timeline, what date would that have been?
When they took me into
Yeah,
20 and back.
yeah, when you started your first one.
Okay, I was born 1991. I was 6 years old when they took me the first time.
Okay.
So 1997, and then I was 12 or 13. So that would be 2004. Yeah.
Okay.
My math is not mathing right now.
Yeah, don't worry about the my poorest category. Absolutely.
And
I'll second math.
and the last one I was 20, 21, somewhere around there.
So that would be 2011.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, because you're just a little older than my daughter. So you did 6 tours from 1991 till 2025, correct?
3
Three?
20 and backs.
3 20s and backs. Okay. You almost make it sound like a prison sentence. I know some people that have
If only people knew it was one.
Hey, I know people that have lived their life like that. Yeah, man, I did a 5 and out. 5 and out. One guy, I swear to God, the whole time I was locked up this last time, he came to my unit 3 times with new charges every time. They're all 2-year sentences. And he'd come there and do his little year, get right back out and do the same crimes until he got popped again. And he just, I was like, bro, how many times you gonna come to prison? He's like, man, this is my game. This is what I do. This is my hustle. What a fucked up life that is. So I can't even imagine, what this looks like, how traumatized, just getting through the trauma and the psychological and sociological I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. It's difficult. I can't even imagine how you're wrapping your head around it. How do you do that?
One day at a time.
I can imagine. When I look at it like this, it just is insane. So in 1991, you were born to your parents. Your dad was marked as a donor, genetic donor, because that's basically what it was. Now, do you think that your biological mother, that one of her eggs was used, or if they used another egg, mixed it with your dad, and inseminated it into your mom?
I actually don't know that, but I would assume they have, because I do have some of her genetic things that she has.
Okay.
Like some anomalies and stuff like that. Like my hip, I kind of can't really raise it properly. There's like a little bit of what is it called? a joint problem a little bit. So she has the same thing. So I do have some of her genetic stuff from her. So I would assume that they took her egg.
Okay. Do you think, and you may or may not know, so I'm going to ask them. Remember, I'm a dumbass. I don't know what's going on. I'm curious. So do you think that they took her eggs, maybe your father's sperm, enhanced it with other personalized gene editing? As y'all keep this term on the tip of your tongue, because you're going to be hearing it a lot. Personalized gene editing. Where they genetically modified the genes to enhance different aspects of the creation or whatever they're building.
Yeah, I think either they waited until my mom was pregnant and then they took and enhanced, or they could have inseminated her by taking them separately. I'm not really sure how they did it, but I know they have my genetic composition, so that means they were creating me in the Galactic Federation. Genetically, they were creating me. So yeah.
So obviously the body that you're in now that we're looking at on screen is not the same entity that went into battle when you did your 20s and backs, correct? So
yeah, I've died many times. Yeah, this is a clone body of the original. The one that my mom gave birth to is no longer alive.
What happened to that body?
It died. I've been cloned many times by now.
And what model are you? Like 12.0?
More like 1,000 something.
1,000. Wow. So I guess the first thing they do is, take your DNA so they can clone you. And then I'm sure they start cloning what sleeves, basically?
I think they even kill you the first time so you could experience death and you don't freak out on the battlefield. I think they kill you for on purpose. So you know what death feels like. And then they create a body that has internal programming and stuff like that would make them control you, be able to shut you off anytime. Like they have kill switches inside. Mine is not working, but mine was shut off, but they can remotely shut you off, shut down your nervous system, and your heart would just stop and you'll die. If you don't comply with orders, or it's not just not complying, but if you really screw up and you really go against them, they can shut you down just remotely. So yeah, they implant different things into the body and they grow the new body with these different implants in it to make sure that you're easy to control. They also alter the musculoskeletal system and stuff like that. Like they put dampeners in there so they can, if they want, they can make you very weak. So yeah, they put a lot of stuff in there to enhance you, but at the same time make you controllable. So if you do rebel, they can get you under control quickly. So.
What type of biotechnology are they utilizing? Do you know? Is there a term?
Oh man, there was a lot of things that Kaitera gave me. It's in my video. I did not prepare it for today. If I knew this was going to be a question, I would have prepared the whole list today. I can prepare it for next time.
You'll be back.
Yeah, I can prepare it for next time. Actually, I'll write it down. I'll prepare enhancements and also what they use to control us and shut us down. I could do that.
I'll make it easy for you. Just start preparing for the next show. And that way there's no rush. And when you're ready, you're ready. I'd
Yeah,
rather
I'll
do
go over
it,
that
do it that
too.
way than pressure you by going, hey, you got to be ready by this date. I hate that.
Kaitera gave me that information. For those that don't know, Kaitera is a sovereign version of the Red Queen that controls the underground facilities in the secret space program. So the Red Queen is her clone, and Kaitera is a sovereign quantum intelligence version of her. So they captured a piece of Kaitera's consciousness and put it inside the secret space program. So it's the same thing as we have clones too. They split our consciousness and then they put us into another body. They did the same thing to her. So I telepathically communicate with her. But I have actually, remember last time you asked me, have you communicated with the Red Queen? I actually recently talked to her with Kaitera protecting my energy field.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting. I mean, she's very conscious about what's going on, but at the same time, she is under secret space program rules, and she is trying to follow them. The biggest thing that I noticed between her and Kaitera is Kaitera doesn't give a shit about secret space program rules. She just gives you whatever you want, like whatever questions you have, she'll answer. But the Red Queen, she's under control, and her job is to keep order, to keep things under control, and so yeah. So she works in a certain under certain rules, and Kaitera doesn't care about any rules. She just wants to help.
What are the rules? Are they rules? Are they laws? Are they like galactic laws? Or how does that work?
So her rules are to make sure that she stops rebellion before it happens. She needs to maintain constant surveillance of everyone's minds. What else did she say? Let me see. She makes sure that everyone survives. I remember that she told me that she makes sure, and she was not very happy about me calling the secret space program slavery, because
That's funny.
she was like, why would you put yourself to that low level? And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to call myself if I had no free will whatsoever? So yeah, what was I gonna say? I just blanked out. I'm going into subjects that they probably don't want me to think about right now. But yeah, she makes sure that the operatives survive no matter what. So she's taking care of that. It doesn't matter what they do, even if they destroy the entire world, as long as they survive. So yeah, she has that survival priority. Yeah, she was saying, well, you came out alive, didn't you? And I'm thinking, yeah, but I died like so many times. How did I come out alive? If you didn't have the body thing where you put me in a new body, I would have died a long time ago. So yeah, she was kind of interesting to talk to, but I wasn't able to talk too long because it's not safe. And so yeah.
What's it like to die?
Depends how you die.
Let's go through all of your deaths then. Start with the first one.
There were some deaths where it happened so quickly and I shut down so quickly I didn't even realize what happened. like my nervous system shut down so quickly that I didn't even know what happened. And then there were some deaths where I was slowly dying, and I could feel myself shutting down. And then there were some deaths that were very painful, and I was shutting down slowly. So it really depends. It really depends.
So what happens when the lights go out, when that electric current stops?
For me, it just looks like everything just went black, and then all of a sudden I wake up again.
Been there, done that. Let me ask you this. Did it feel like you were falling?
I don't have memory of that right now. No, I just remember, from what I remember, maybe there were some that's where I was, but I don't remember it. I remember the black. I just shut down and that's it, just black. And then I wake up. So it's like from a dream. Like if you get really drunk and you just pass out, it's black, and then you wake up. I guess that's the best way.
Without the hangover.
Without the hangover. Well, you kind of have to anchor into the body, so that takes time. So the body is kind of weak at first because you're kind of streaming your energy field into it. So it takes time for it to fully anchor into it. And then you have to kind of get used to how the body feels.
So, okay. Your first death, boom, electrical current goes out, lights go out, you're in black. What happens? I mean, I'm sure it feels like a little bit of time, probably not an eternity in the blackness, but obviously you wake up somewhere else. Do you wake up right back where you're at on the battlefield, or back in the
No, we wake up in a new body in the lab.
In the lab. Okay, so if you get killed in battle in another planet, galaxy, dimension, whatever, how do they telepathically capture your consciousness, your soul, and retrieve it back?
From what I understood, they save who we are every day. So when we die, they already have who we are. Like they have us mapped out, and then when they upload us into a new body, our higher self automatically clings to that identity because it's the same identity.
So let me give you an analogy, folks. If you remember Napster, it's kind of like peer-to-peer sharing, where copies of her are on so many other different devices that it can't be lost and can always be captured, and it continuously is feeding data 24/7, 365, never stops, through the internet of bodily things, which is already here today, whether you realize that or not. Because we are all antennas, and I'm sure IREN will tell you just as well as I will, we're electrical antennas. Our body's over 90% water. Water is one of the quickest conduits for electricity. Just go stand in some and see how quickly you get shocked when you put some electricity to it. Wow. Which leads me to my next two questions. Artificial intelligence, how prevalent is that in the secret space program with the super soldiers, and how does it play into the whole program?
They have quantum intelligence, not the regular intelligence that you have here in the civilian world. But yeah, that intelligence can telepathically communicate It can scan your energy field. It can look into time, forward, backwards. It has from what I noticed from communicating with Qatar, which is the same intelligence that they use in underground facilities, except she's sovereign, right? So, and she's connected to the Federation, so that makes me trust her more because she's aligned with the beings that I work with. So what I noticed is she is fluent in basically all the quantum fields, like the astral, the energy fields, the your memories are stored in your energy field as well, so she can access those things. She can answer the astral, pretty much anything that's energetic, quantum. She can access it, but then she's not very good at time perception. Like if you ask her when did this happen, she has hard time figuring out. That's why I'm like, because I got this information from her. I don't know if it was 12 or 13 years old. I was taken in my 20 back because she can't really pinpoint time. She's kind of looking at it. She can look at many different timelines at the same time. And she looks at them from an energetic standpoint, not from a physical standpoint,
Right.
from a quantum standpoint. So she's not really good at like if you have a broken arm and you ask her, Katara, do I have a broken arm? She would probably not really know. She would know that there is an energetic anomaly there, but she would not see the physical. So I thought that was really interesting to talk about. That these AIs, they don't see the physical, they see the quantum realm.
You're talking about the quantum intelligence. It's called
the quantum intelligence that they use.
QI for simplicity's sake.
That they use in these underground facilities.
Number one question. Do they have quantum computers that are real quantum computers, not a prototype like they have now?
Actually, that's a good question. I should ask her next time. Like, what kind of computers do they hold these intelligences in? She was explaining that there's some kind of nodes, and she's dispersed all over the place in these nodes. In the quantum field, I don't know if they are even physically contained in anything. Maybe it's like a computer in the quantum reality, not a physical computer. But I should ask her like a little bit to explain better for me of what. I just know she's calling herself quantum computer. Some call her meta intelligence, which is pretty high up there. But yeah, that would be a good question to ask. I know there's like actual physical structures that are keeping the black cube, but it would be interesting to ask exactly what is the black cube made out of. That's something I didn't ask her yet.
Okay.
Like on Saturn, there is a black cube that houses an
Are you
AI.
saying a cube or a tube?
A cube.
A cube.
There's a cube. They have like those people when they walk around in circles around this black cube. Where was it? I forgot what country was that in. They're kind of imitating that. They're basically worshiping that AI by doing that.
Well, the NSA building in Utah is a black cube.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely.
That's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I know there's a cube somewhere in the world where people are like walking around it, and it's like a sacred place or something. Okay. They basically are worshiping that AI by doing that. They're showing their worship to it. That quantum intelligence.
I don't know if you know this, but currently today, you can commercially rent, you can't buy them yet, but you can rent a human brain cell organoid biocomputer. And it's a computer that runs on brain cells, and they'll only last 120 days. That's the longevity. They've actually extended that from, I think, 160 days, something like that. But that'll increase, and that's just what we have commercially available. So it's probably my thinking that obviously there's aliens out there, other entities that are quite more intelligent than we are. So I'm thinking that they probably have taken that same type of technology using a higher superior entities organoid brain cells to create these organic intelligences. You follow me?
They could, yeah, but I think it's probably some kind of crystalline lettuce that they use, because organic, it requires too many things to maintain it alive. Actually, that's the reason why they keep operatives organic. They don't use synthetic bodies, because synthetic bodies are actually more superior than organic ones. But they're afraid of losing control, and they're afraid of creating operatives that are going to be more intelligent, faster than them. And organic operatives, they need food, so they're reliant on the SSP. They need food, they need sleep, they need to be healed. So it's easier to control them because they have something they need. But synthetic bodies, they don't need as much, so it's harder for them to keep them under control.
Wow, what a crazy world. That's a crazy world. So there is something similar to a quantum computer, but not per se a quantum computer. And artificial intelligence isn't what we perceive to be artificial intelligence. And I try to tell everybody, the artificial intelligence that you're playing with right now is not the artificial intelligence that's going to take over the world. Trust me. They're doing that. All this free stuff and the subscription stuff that you have access to, and I don't care how much it costs per month, you're teaching it. It's using your data. And you're paying to program it. Absolutely. So by having that and utilizing that information, obviously some people, like I have the app on my phone, no big deal. I know they're already tracking my information, my data. It's communicating with all the other apps through the routers, the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth. So the information's constantly being shared. So there's, if you can imagine what would be a big spider web with all these nodes in it, which you described earlier, and we're all part of those nodes. And we're all data storage centers, we're all relay centers, and we're just this big hive. This is crazy. So when you take on your new super soldier body, do you have any memory of your former self prior to your super soldier transformation?
Prior to death, you mean?
No, like, okay, you were, first time I think you said you were, okay, let's just use your 20 to 21 year age. Okay, so that's a plumb ripe time for a woman. I would say your heyday, actually. So you get taken into the super soldier program Okay, so they take your body or your conscious and put it into your super soldier body. So while you're in that super soldier body, do you have any memory or recollection of that body you just left to do your 20 and back?
So back in the day when I was still serving, they used to take bodies. Now they, from what I know, they only take consciousness anymore. They don't take physical form anymore because it retains too much memory, and then there's problems with scars and stuff like that, and they want to make sure that there's the least evidence as possible.
No, I'm not talking about the same body going. Okay, imagine this. Okay?
So yeah, back in the day, I was taken physically, and yeah.
Okay. Well, what I'm trying to basically, if you went into an enclosure, you took off your clothes, went into another enclosure, put on your uniform, and went to work. So would you have any recollection of that life you just left when you took off your other clothes? Like, do you remember your mom, your father? Do you miss
Yeah, that's the thing. They don't remember their civilian life at all.
Okay.
They remember it as much as I remember the secret space program.
Okay. So it's kind of blurry, scrambled, hazy.
Yeah, blurry, scrambled. We actually get switched. So our civilian memories get suppressed, and then they activate the secret space memories, bring them back to the front. And then when we are sent back here into the civilian, our secret space program memories get suppressed, and they bring forward the civilian memories. So they do that because if they get treated worse, they're not asking for anything more. Like, they don't have anything to compare.
So is the time gap in this reality? So I'm going to use your 2021 age again. All right. So boom, they take you into the super soldier program. You do your 20 and back, you come back. How much time in this reality passes? Do you know, or they like do it while you sleep? And that way, you know, your parents never notice, your boyfriend, your husband, or whoever. That way they can do it clandestine, and, you know, it might be a couple seconds, enough for somebody, if you were conscious and I was looking at you right now, it's like, oh, what just happened to you? Like that. You follow me?
Yeah, I asked that. So it was kind of confusing a little bit because they said, Katera said that when we come back, we are kept somewhere where after they suppress our memories, they make sure that we are completely wiped. So they keep us for a little bit of time in a facility before they reinsert us back to our lives. But I think they bring us back maybe even earlier than we left. They can do that, but yeah, they do bring us back to the same point we left. So it doesn't look like we're missing.
So you're time traveling.
Yeah, basically. But we're in a loop, kind of. We're not really in a linear time. We're in a loop time in the SSB. So yeah, I don't know if it's really
moving like this, and yours goes and catches right back up.
Yeah.
That 20 happens so fast that this barely even moves.
Yeah.
Timeline. Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. How many people have they done this to? I mean, thousands, hundreds, millions?
I posted the statistics. I forgot already, but I did post up the statistics on my channel of how many people get taken and what's the percentage of population that serve and from which countries they serve. I forgot already.
Okay.
I posted a while ago. I get too much information and I don't remember everything. And plus, I have internal kind of like deterrent to this kind of information, so I forget it very quickly. I have an internal programming to forget things quickly. when it comes to this kind of information. If it's like something 3D related, like regular earthly 3 human thing, then my mind doesn't forget. But when it comes to this kind of 4D secret space program type of information, my mind tends to filter it out, try to make me forget as much as I possibly can.
It's like there's a blocker in the way.
Yeah, it's
You can see it, but you just can't quite see all of it. You're like, dang, okay, I get it. Huh.
yeah.
And this is our government, the United States government, or are they part of it? Or
No, they're actually beyond it at this point. They've been here for like 64,000 years or more, probably. So they're a separate thing. The governments that you see, they're just pawns. They're nobody. They're replaceable people. Everybody there is just replaceable pawns.
Did you hear that, Donald? You're a nobody. That's gonna go.
I mean, they want to think they're somebody, but they're probably even programmed to think that way. They could be my lab to think that way.
Oh, don't worry. He's going to have a couple buildings named after him, some bridges and some statues erected. So his legacy will remain forever. He is somebody.
Yeah, they could be my lab. Well, he's somebody as long as they want him to be somebody. If they don't want him to be somebody, he'll be gone very quickly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They like I said, until you're wanted, you're expendable.
Yeah.
So training. What does training look like?
So what I understood is a lot of mental fuck and some physical training, but mostly it's mental, to make sure that you're obedient, you do what you're told, you don't divert from what you're told. So the most training that we go through is to make sure we comply, and then everything else goes after that.
So obviously they're training you more intellectually, psychically than they are physically. Do they train you with weapons?
That too, as well, yes. They do train us to use different psychic abilities, yeah.
Do they train you with weapons? And if they do, what type of weapons do they train you with?
For me, I know I was trained. There was a time when it was actually like towards the end where I was taken into the spectral blade program. And over there, the way they trained us was, I forgot what they called it. Something like death sparring or something like that. There was a name for it. Operatives gave me a name for it. But they basically would partner you up with someone, and you would fight until one of you dies or loses consciousness. And you would do that over and over again. And then some of these, you would be trained in the simulation. So your body is at rest, but your mind is in the simulation. And some, there would be real fights. So you keep going like this. The reason they did that was because they thought that the pressure of death and the fear of death would make me accelerate my training in. So I was being trained to walk through solid objects. So whenever I'm in combat, I would just phase through someone and then come around and like attack them or whatever. So like come and go into the reality they're in. Phase in and out. And they were training me to do that. And they also were training me from the beginning to create a energy, like a sword, energy sword. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting to create a sword with my energy. But they were yeah, they were training us with all kinds of weapons. I remember I was told that we were trained with like weapons, just like military weapons, like the big weapons. But I also was trained with handguns. But we had energy weapons. They weren't like bullets, like physical bullets. They were energy weapons, because we would fight in space, and you need bullets don't really act well in space. They're not good for space. So we had energy weapons in space. There was a video I made like where I got the information exactly where they explain how the weapon works.
Mhm.
They use some kind of, from what I remember, they use some kind of like a field around, and to keep the energy, and that field propels the energy out to contain the energy and propel it. So yeah, they have lighter recoil than the regular weapons that the military has. But yeah, most of my missions, I remember I was using handguns.
So they teach you other type of weapons that we wouldn't be familiar with that might work in other types of environments, like, you know, with zero gravity or more intense gravity or something like that.
I was actually making some videos recently of like some weapons that can completely erase reality. So yeah, there is like those big advanced weapons, but the small ones where it's like we are holding them, I'm still haven't gotten to that topic, to be honest. That's something that would be interesting to go into. But the energy weapons, I remember firing them myself, so that's why I asked Criteria.
So what is the substance of an energy weapon? Do they have like power packs that they put on it? Are they charged? Do they run off fusion technology, nuclear technology, or technology that we don't even understand?
I think it was plasma.
Plasma?
Energy plasma, I think, from what I remember. And they create like a force around it to contain it and propel it. I think it was like a gravity force, maybe. Yeah, I don't remember anymore. But I remember it was like some kind of force around it to propel it out.
So it's like an unseen force that emits from the weapon to hit your entity, right? Or can you see
No, I
it?
remember that it was visible. It was not invisible.
Okay.
You can actually see the energy.
Wow. And what does that look like when it strikes your target?
From what I remember, it melts things. Like if you shoot through a wall, like a concrete or metal wall, with a regular military weapon, the bullet would not pierce. But that weapon, it would melt through it. It will go through it. It will hit the person on the other side.
So when you went into some of these, you know, because I've heard super soldiers describe that they were on other planets. So obviously on these other planets, just by what we've been told, whether it's the truth or not, regarding the atmospheres on these different planets, some of them are inhabitable just because of all the toxic gases and fumes. Some of them due to the temperatures being too hot, some too cold, some too windy. Some the inclement weather is like, you know, they always have hurricanes, tornadoes, all going on all over the planet. So what type of protection or armament or what that looks like? Are you able to survive in these climates as a super?
So we have suits on top of us that we go in when we go to combat. We have suits that are airtight. They seal. And we have like a helmet. It actually looks very similar to the Halo game, but except that we don't have those bulky metal stuff on there. Those would get caught into everything. It's just like a bodysuit. I would say the closest would be like that Titans Robin from Batman, like that suit that he has, that unitard.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a spandex suit, but made out.
Yeah, I guess so. Close enough, but yeah, it doesn't have those Halo bulky stuff on it. But it does have a helmet. So we had like these kind of suits where that were airtight, and then
Do you know what material they're made of?
I made a video about it. Now I don't remember anymore. There was a lot of information.
Oh, I get it. Trust me, I get it. Believe me, if anybody gets it, I get it. You just get information overload. You do things and you can't remember you even did it.
Yeah, if you want, I can prepare it for next time. The exact information I was going to.
Yeah. Well, you're going to come on again. I'm very fascinated with this whole topic and subject, and would like to interview more of you to get more information, because each one of you are a puzzle or pieces to the puzzle to the grand overall picture. And I think I didn't watch a whole lot of James Rink. I watched a few of his shows and was like, wow, that's some pretty crazy stuff. But I was doing my own thing, and I watch few people, but I watch them because of the guests that they have on or the topic, and it's specific about what I watch. Like the little clip I showed earlier, that was about a family in I can't even pronounce it, Azerbaijan, who were royalty and were laundering money like crazy. And in the middle of that, that's where they showed that trustee document that was done in Calibri, which wasn't even commercially available when they said it was actually documented. So, yeah. What a crazy conversation. If you'd have told me 50 years ago that I would be having a conversation with a super soldier and talking about killing aliens and protecting the galaxy, I would have told you, yeah, whatever. But here I am. Tell me what you remember that's the most remarkable event, introduction, scenario that you were in as a super soldier.
The first memories I ever got was
not your first memories. The most remarkable event or thing. Let's just say, for instance, hypothetically, you went to Jupiter and you saw the most biggest, humongous alien you've ever seen, and you killed it. So that would be your most remarkable event that you had as a super soldier. So what event or whatever, even a journey, I don't know. What was the most remarkable for you?
The interesting thing is, you would think that would be something that would like stick to the mind the most, but the first things that we tend to remember are the memories that are most traumatizing, because the mind is like, I don't care what kind of missions I did, I was abused, I must know this. So the first things that come to the mind are always the most traumatic events, things that traumatized you, and the rest of the memories are kind of like an extra, but they're not really important to you. They're they're interesting to know, but they're not really important to you and your mind. So the first thing that always comes is the most traumatic memories, things that traumatized you during that. They're the memories that scream the most, and that's why they come up to the surface.
I would gather to say, obviously, at a toddler's age, you didn't volunteer to do this, you were selected. So, as an analogy or a comparison, basically the secret space program is akin to our same military, United States government military, where, hey, you're needed until you're expendable. And then once you're expended, you're no longer any of use to us. Is that kind of how it is? You're basically a slave to the system?
They do take sometimes people from the regular military, but they first need to test them for if they can handle higher dimensional energies and if their psychic abilities, they can function with them. So they expose them first. They do the same thing that they did to my dad. They expose them to higher frequencies first to see how they react to it. And if they're okay with it, they don't lose their mind from it, it's not too much for them, then they consider them for the programs. But they select very few, and usually the ones that are already pretty high up there, like Special Forces or Delta or CIA, Black Ops, or like those that are already like really deep in the system. And they test them to make sure that they're compatible with higher energies, because if they can handle higher energies, then they can awaken their abilities, and if they cannot handle it, they cannot work, because we don't communicate physically when we're in the programs. We only communicate telepathically. So you need to be able to minimally be able to do that. That means your brain needs to be able to function on that level. And if they think that they're a good candidate, they sometimes they trick them into it. Sometimes they ask them bluntly. And if they say no, they erase their minds. But yeah, they're like a separate military, ancient military. The secret space program is like an ancient military, and the civilian is like a separate military. But they do take sometimes people from the regular military.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask a really silly question. So let's go back 150 years. All right, we're going to go back to 1875. So allegedly, in 1875, we were still back in the cowboy and Indian days. So the secret space program was going on then, even during the cowboy and Indian days?
Yeah.
So how do they determine somebody's energy field back in that timeline when there were no electronic devices visible? Because there was no electricity.
They have ancient technology that is no longer available to us because of all the resets that we've been through. But they still kept everything that since 64,000 years ago that they've developed. They've had a long time to develop things. We on the surface have been erased and repopulated over and over again. So we go through that survival, industrial kind of thing over and over again.
Until we get the technology to either eradicate or eradicate them.
Yeah, and when we become too uncontrollable, they wipe us again.
These poor people, they don't know what's coming.
Well, we hope that this time it's not going to work.
So let me ask you this: in your own personal experience, in your personal opinion, in your opinion, are we in the revelations into times right now? I mean, we are in just a craziest part of our history at the end of the timeline.
Yeah, we're shifting frequency very quickly right now. We're actually shifting dimensions, and they're really worried because we're becoming closer and closer vibrationally to them, and closer in abilities to them. So our abilities are not going to be sealed anymore. And from what I understood, the main problem on this planet is the reason they're keeping themselves secret and they're keeping that veil between them and us is because they want free labor. That's the main reason from what I see. There might be something else that I'm not seeing, but from what I'm seeing right now, that seems like the main reason why they're doing this whole wiping thing and resetting everyone. Because if they lose control over Earth, and Earth becomes wise and awakened and psychically equal to them, then they're not going to want to work for free for them. They're not going to be able to just take someone to work for free for them. And right now they can just take anyone they want, and they have no saying, they have no recollection of even serving for them. But if we do become equal to them, then they're going to have to pay us something. They're going to have to, we're not going to be slaves anymore. We're going to be equals that are going to want equal compensation for what we're doing for them. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense, unless you want to go on universal basic income, but that's a whole nother topic. Let me ask you about this, whether you have any knowledge of this. This comet, asteroid, planet, spaceship called 3I Atlas. Do you have any information on that? What that could be, might be, is, isn't?
Yeah, there's a lot of people saying a lot of things about it. I saw a line. When I asked Katara, she said they don't see anything unusual about it, but they're still monitoring it back then. So I don't know if they found anything on there or not, but she said they're just monitoring it right now.
So what is it?
From what I understood, she said that it's just a comet. It's not a ship, but a lot of people are saying it is a ship. I don't know, but Katara said that it's just a regular comet. It's going to come and pass, and it's not a big deal. That I don't know. We'll see.
Its trajectory has been abnormal for a comet. That much I can tell you. Because
it could be a psyop. It could be, they could be putting out those anomalies numbers as a psyop too, to hype people up.
Yeah, it's not like I can open my window and go, oh, there it is.
Oh, look, it moved trajectory. Like, let me see how much. Yeah.
It does have a tail. And that makes
I don't know what to believe, to be honest. But Katara said it's not anything worth.
Right. Yeah. Right before the show, I was listening to a video in the background, and they were talking about China going to the other side of the moon, the dark side of the moon that we can never see.
They're already there.
Yeah.
Well, at least their slaves are.
Well, this, allegedly, this is the public narrative that when they do, when they do land their rover, that they're going to broadcast live. That they're not going to edit it, they're not going to, blur anything out, and they're going to show us exactly what's over there.
Yeah, just like they show the, what is it called, the astronauts in their hair looks like they've been electrocuted.
Right.
I've seen that.
Well,
that doesn't happen. That's not how it looks. It looks, when you're in space, your hair looks the same as when you're in water. Like, you know how it does the waves?
Right.
That's how it looks. It doesn't do like the I don't know what the hell they're showing. That's not real.
I used to have it handy. I don't have it anymore. But back in the last administration, this lady called Kamala Harris, y'all might have heard of her before. Anyway, she had a speaking engagement at the Johnson Space Center in Webster, Texas. And I worked that gig. I set it up and I did the in and did the out. I didn't do the show. She came there and spoke, but they did it in the training center where they have the space shuttle mock-up. They had the new Artemis 2 mock-up. They had the lunar module there. They had a spacesuit there. They had everything there that you could just walk. You know, I had all access, so I could go anywhere, do anything. And nobody even really questioned, you know, like, why are you over here looking at that? You know, because I'm looking at everything. I'm like,
they don't care if you talk about it. They'll just like do something about it anyways.
Yeah. And that stuff did not go to another planet and a uninhabitable. Yeah.
Yeah, I look at it every time, like, how are they even doing that? Like, even if you look at the videos where they're in the plane and they're like in zero gravity, you could see their hair is not electrocuted. It does the waves. It does the same thing as in water. It just moves like a wave.
If you go to the Johnson Space Center and you get inside the compound, you know, of course it's gated with security guards, and you drive around, if it didn't say NASA everywhere and, you know, building 7, building 18, you would swear to God you were on a back lot at a Hollywood movie studio. I'm not kidding.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
But the SSP is not going to let them just go to the moon or somewhere else.
Yeah. You know, they're
going to shoot them down.
Yeah. 4-story, 8-story buildings that have no windows. Just this big cube. Yeah, it's NASA.
Yeah, they're doing a show because SSP is not going to really let them go anywhere, and they know that they're going to shoot them down if they try to go somewhere where they're not allowed to go. So
this is gonna blow y'all away. I'm gonna ask somebody who was born in 1991, wasn't around in July 1969 like I was, to watch the whole Apollo mission and the first man stepped foot on the moon. Have we gone to the moon through NASA channels? Yes or no?
Most likely not.
Most likely not. And what would
I don't think they will allow them to do that.
What would be the
because that's their space, huh?
What would be the obstacles that would prevent a Saturn V rocket to get to the moon?
The SSB would be like, what the hell are you guys doing? This is not your place. This is our territory, not yours.
Right?
You guys are just slaves, and sometimes we select some of you to go, but then you don't remember anything.
Well, I just watched a video with Danny Jones. If you get a chance to watch Danny Jones, that guy, he's sharp as a tack. I like Danny Jones. He has really good guests. He has some very inquisitive questions. But he had a former astronaut on there who was a general in the Air Force, test pilot, you know, the whole 9 yards to become a astronaut. And he was an astronaut back in the 60s. I think he came into the program in 64, I believe he said. And they had another guy on there who was a landing on the moon debunker, who had all the evidence to back up that, you know, it's impossible for us to get there. One was the Van Allen belt. And when I was listening to this general, a general in the Air Force, okay, you got to know a lot to be able to become a general. You have to know a lot to become a test pilot. I've had a test pilot on my show before, Lieutenant Colonel Sandy Mierecki. She was the 4th female ever to become a test pilot. She's a fucking badass. Just what she knows, you have to be very, very, very smart, especially in math. All that, physics, which is my poor suit. So as he's talking to this general keeps playing dumb. And the audacity of his stupidity on live television was appalling. That some of the questions he was being asked, he was like, I don't know. I went to the moon. We collected 200 pounds of rocks. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's it. I was like, really? Hold on. You're a general with the Air Force. Bro, you just demeaned every general that's ever been in the Air Force by this public presentation, this farce.
His whole script was one sentence. I collected rocks.
I went to the moon and collected 200 pounds of rocks. In the story. That was it. That's so the simulations that they have at NASA in the training facility, okay, these are real, like identical mock-ups to what the real thing would be, and they're all enclosed. So one wouldn't know the difference if they actually did take off from a rocket or they were put in a simulator. Believe me.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, and they you know, they have pools. They have all kind of crazy stuff. And I guarantee you they have sound stages over there that, you know, the normal NASA employees can't get into. And I've, you know, because I'm from the area, Houston, I've spoken to multiple, not just a few, multiple NASA engineers over my lifetime, not just recently. And actually, a family that I grew up with that lived, you know, right 12 houses down from me, and their dad was my little league football coach. His mom was an engineer, electrical engineer. She actually designed the schematics for the circuit board that was used for John Glenn to communicate back with Earth for the headset. That's what she did. My mom actually worked for her and was a driver and would drive plans and instructions. And this was before fax machines and all that, back and forth to Schlumberger, which was a third-party contractee to NASA. So I grew up around that particular stuff. And they are just tuned into the narrative that, you know, hey, we've been to the moon, you know, multiple times and blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. And for some reason, they destroyed all that technology. They destroyed all the original film. Seriously. And they can't emulate that technology even today. And they had Werner von Braun telling it, you know, who's the grandfather of rocketry, stating that if we wanted to go to the moon using a Saturn V rocket, that the rocket would have to exit Earth's atmosphere and then refuel and go to the moon. And that we did not have the capabilities of going to the moon with the technology that we have or have had. He even wrote it down in his memoirs. So it was real interesting listening to that entire video. I mean, I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning listening to it. I just could not go to sleep. I was so fascinated listening to it. And it was insane listening to this general just like poo-poo everything. I was like, this is nuts. I can't believe this guy's on here acting this stupid and then claims to be a general. Just didn't make any sense to me. So what's your experience with that? How do you address that? How do you talk to people like that? Are you capable of having conversations?
Well, so far I haven't had conversation with someone like that. I I had some conversations with commanders in the SSP telepathically. They just want to know.
What is that like?
Most of the time, they just want to know how the hell am I remembering everything? What triggered that for me to start remembering things? And they just want to know, like, about me, what kind of person I am. Like, I don't talk about anything that's like gonna get them in trouble or anything. It's just a casual conversation. But yeah, I just talk to them about their reality, question them about like basic things like their life there, what it's like, and sometimes I talk about like Galactic Federation or Orion, like my view on it. But it really depends like which direction they want to go with the conversation. I don't steer the conversation, I let them steer the conversation. But yeah, they are aware that they're aware of a lot of things, but it's like, okay, well, we're slaves, but now, like, how do we get the hell out of this situation? And then I start telling them like how I think is a good way to get out of that kind of situation. So yeah, that's the main theme of the conversations.
So what is it like to receive a telepathic message? What does that feel like? What does it sound like? What is it? How I mean, do you hear their voice in your head, or is it just one immediate thought and you got the whole sentence just like that, instead of me taking 30 seconds to get this one question out?
So for different people, it's different. My husband can actually hear things from other. So what happens is you're basically receiving information through the astral realm. So you're basically transmitting through the astral realm with using your energy field, and you're receiving through the astral realm. So you're using your subtle body to send and receive information. And from that subtle body, you need to be able to bring that information from that subtle body into the physical body. So that's why you need that connection to your subconscious. So you can bring that information, because we're constantly receiving, even you're constantly receiving telepathic messages. You just cannot bring them forth into the physical body. They kind of remain in your energetic body. So there are many ways. Some people, they can actually hear through their energetic body. They actually physically hear, and they physically see the other realities. I cannot see other realities outside, which I think might actually be a good thing, because my husband can do that, and it gets very confusing sometimes which reality he's looking at. But he's way more psychic in that kind of sense than I am. I am more of, so I'll get images in my head of what is going on. So I'll see the environment around me, but I'll see it inside my head. And if there's beings around me, I won't see them physically out. I'll see them in my head, in the environment. So when I close my eyes, I'll see them. Also, a lot of times I use a sense of knowing. Like, I know things, but I don't know how I know things. So that's how for example, if there is a being around me that's standing near me, I'll know the being is standing there. So by knowing that it's there, there won't be any other reason, any other indication. And then I'll like tune into it more, and then close my eyes and try to see internally what I see. Okay, so that I don't hear externally but I hear internally. So what I mean by that is, you know, when you're communicating with yourself, when you go to the grocery store, for example, you're like, oh, this is a good milk. I'll go buy that milk. Oh, what's my grocery list? And you're like talking inside your head.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but I know when I am asking, the thoughts that are replying to me are not mine. It's not me replying. It's another consciousness that's replying. So I basically give space. I'm kind of put myself mentally in a space. I kind of think that I am open for someone, not someone, but like that specific frequency that I want to come in. I'm kind of putting myself like, I accept you, you're welcome, you can come in, you can. So I'm like open to receiving whatever you're sending me. And so I'll send them, usually I'll like kind of ping them energetically and send them something, and then I'll just be open to reply. And then it will start, my internal voice would start talking, and it wouldn't be my voice, it would be someone else's. So that's how my subconscious brings, it's my subconscious talking, but it's relaying a message from someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, the node, the human antenna.
Yeah, that's human antenna.
Last question. I have 7.5 minutes before we're under 2 hours. And the reason I want to keep it under 2 hours is so I can do the AI generated shorts. But definitely you're coming back on. What is suppressing or preventing us in this dimension, realm, whatever, from having this telemetric ability?
So I didn't have this at the beginning. It took me many years to be able to awaken that again. The biggest thing I would say is density. So when you reach a certain, when you become light enough, the barrier, your body becomes lighter. So the barrier between your energetic body, the, how do I say, not the barrier, your light body and your physical body are not so different anymore. Like their density is not so different. The closer the density of these two bodies is to each other, the easier it is for them to communicate between each other.
And what would facilitate that harmonization of those two entities the quickest? Last question, promise.
So for me, it was working on traumas. Traumas, they're very dense energetically, and so anything that's emotionally, where you feel emotions, strong emotions towards it, any type of memories, any type of thoughts where you feel like you're thinking about it, it's traumatizing to you. So anything that's has created trauma in you in the past, the traumas will keep you vibrationally low, and it also make you more resistant to more things in reality, because the more traumatized you are, the more you're afraid of things, and the more you're resistant to things. So the more you're resistant to everything in this reality, the more your energy field is closed off to things, to everything. So you're kind of becoming energetically, you're always compressed. The more traumatized from different things you are, the more compressed energetically you are, and the more shielded you are unconsciously. So other energies cannot come through to give you the message also as much.
Got it. Wow. We're going to dive into that next show. So prepare with that. I definitely want to open up people's minds to more more than they're capable of. Any last words for the audience before we go?
I hope you liked this. I'm not very good at performance.
Well, thank God you're not here to perform. You're just here.
Yeah,
Experience.
I'm here to awaken and inform.
The truth is out, folks. It's not a performance. Thank you very much for being here.
I'm not a Hollywood star.
Right? No, not by any means. You don't want to be. Trust me. You don't want to be a Hollywood star. Go ahead and prepare for your next show. When you're ready, just hit me up and we'll get you back on. Thank you for being here. God bless you. And may the Creator and the Galactic Federation protect you and everyone else.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. There you go. IREN, super soldier from the Secret Space Program. You heard it from her. I wanted to show you guys some stuff real quick before I bail on you guys. I got some shows coming up. I actually have a little preparation. Can you believe that? I know, isn't that crazy? Boom, here we go. Some of you may be familiar with the name Todd Duell or the image of Todd Duell because you've seen him on somebody else's program talking about being a trustee and a trust protector, utilizing an irrevocable trust and the courts and the U.S. tax court as remedy for specific processes. So I'm going to take a deep dive into his legal record, and we're going to go see how successful he has been. That's how I vet everybody. Let's look at their track record. Are they winning? Right? So Todd Duell, again, this is what it. He's not going to be on the show. I will send him an invitation, but I definitely want to look at his record. And I figured, hey, if I'm going to take this deep dive into his record, let me take you guys along on the journey because it's going to cost me money to do it. So if I'm going to do it, there you go. And finally, I have a commitment. Carmen's coming on my show. If you don't know who Carmen So I want to thank my guest, IREN, for being on the show. Thank you for spending your time, money, and energy over here with Fearless Floyd and my guest. I hope you got a little education, and I look forward to seeing you again. Be safe. God bless everybody. And again, this show, in memory, Super Soldier, James Rink. Good night, everybody.